Okay folks, in this clip we're going to talk about how to draw a comic book. Alright, so first thing you're going to want to do is just sit down with a blank page in front of you and start to sketch out concept ideas. Concepts for the different cast of characters that are going to occupy this book. If it's already an established cast of characters, figure out if there's any new ones that you want to introduce into this particular series of stories that you want to tell in your comic book. Figure out exactly what their design is going to be. Really just take some time to get a whole bunch of different random ideas down on paper. Try a bunch of different variations of those ideas as well. Don't just, lock into one idea and just leave it at that. I mean, if you're incredibly in love with your early concept design, like the first one that you lay down, then by all means go with it, but allow yourself the freedom to experiment just a little bit, not just with the characters but with the locations. Like use a little bit of creativity here and explore the limitless possibilities that are at your disposal. That would be the first thing to do. The second thing would be to actually start to storyboard the actual comic. Figure out exactly what's going to happen visually from frame to frame to frame. Figure out the different layouts that you want to use, the way that you want each sequence to progress, the visual style that you want to use that way, and really just sort of lay the foundations for what the finished product will be. That would be step 2. Then in step 3, I guess what you would do is actually start to draw the thing. I'm assuming that you're going to be doing this at home with maybe just yourself or one other person helping you out. If this is the case, you're going to want to take it just panel by panel. Start by drawing out what's going on in the foreground, the character, I'm assuming that's in the panel, or whatever might be the center of attention in the panel. Start with that first. Then draw in the backgrounds behind it. This is not necessarily the way the pros do it. I mean, in the comic book world, there are dozens of different steps before you finally get to the phase where you're actually laying out the finished product. But since you're going to be doing this on your own, get the storyboards first, the basic panels, and you can even use those sketches as the actual template for your finished product if you really love what you've done with that template. Start to draw in over it. Take it panel by panel. I would recommend using a pencil at first just to make sure you know exactly what you want. And then finally, at the very end, what you're going to do is go over all your sketches in ink. That will be the final step in creating or drawing your very own comic book.